Hey guys, Tara here. Welcome back to another BeamNG drive video. This time Race Mania episode number 12. If you did miss the previous one, definitely go and check that one out first. And if you've missed any in this series, check out every other one, so you know the crashes and that have happened before, and just the general rules and that for this series. So for this episode, I think there's 3 new cars. The first one being the front running car, which is the Hopper Classic Splittable Limo. This thing is only being held together by literally the drive shaft and something else. 2 pipes are holding this car together in effect, because all the other stuff, the carpet and the doors, they could come off easily in one hit, and I've already tried that before to see if this thing does split in half, and it does. And the second car is one of the other new cars. It is the Off-Road Barstow Lowrider. So effectively it's just a regular Barstow with off-road chassis and that really low to the floor. Some decent top-end speed in this, but it's got some okay acceleration as well, but it just maxes out quite quickly. And the third car is the car that finished second in the previous video, the ETK S series, I'm pretty sure this thing is. Again, some decent trail speed, not the best acceleration in the world. But talking of acceleration, the fourth car today, which is the third of the new cars, is the Sunburst drag car, but it's front wheel drive. So front wheel drive drag car, and the light of the car is so light. Also, this car does have a tendency to roll over if going sideways, so that might be something to look out for. And then the car at the back, which you can already see at the front of, is the Firehawk, which is last time's winner. Now then, it's time to put the speed down to 100 so none of the cars get an unfair advantage. Well, they get the smallest of margins, but come the end of the race, that's not going to make any difference. So now then, which car do you think is going to win? Comment down below which car you think is going to win, whether it be the splittable limo, the Barstow, well, let's call it a Barstow, the off-road Barstow, so we can call it the Barstow, the ETK, the Sunburst, or the Firehawk. Now, everything should be fairly tame off the start. Also, since the last update to BeamNG Drive, the crashes and that do sound quite a lot better, so I guess you're more realistic as well. Now all the cars are already crashed into each other, which is to be expected, but a fairly tame start as well, though the front bumper of the Sunburst is already flipped and upside down. He's facing the wrong. Okay, the Sunburst getting a little bit airborne though. He's going to get spun. There we go, there's the flip. There's the flip I was expecting. He's going to go right into the path though of the Firehawk as well. Okay, the Sunburst front wheel drive needs to protect those drag wheels. Is he going to land on its wheels though? It is, but it flips upside down again. The front wheels though do look okay. Now, what other mayhem has been created? The ETK has been smashed out of the way by the Firehawk. But now then, the main task for now is to rescue the stuck upside down turtle Sunburst, and hopefully that flips it. Well, I guess it onto its side. The ETK is going the wrong way, just as to be expected. There you go, it's on its wheels. Now then, to rescue the ETK as well. And okay, that's the front bumper from the Sunburst, which is underneath the ETK. I don't know exactly how it's got there, since the Sunburst was, well, I think was always behind the ETK, but that's the bumper dealt with. Now then put it on disabled, and I then get it turned around. Okay, that front wheel not looking very healthy. Neither the front of the car. Now just rammed it into the wall. Oh, come on, Sunburst. Why are you going? You were facing the right way. Oh no, that just sums up your race really. And now you're upside down again. Are you sideways? You're going to go upside down? No, you're not going to go upside down, but you've pretty much, in effect, just taken yourself out already. And let's get the ETK put on random. Sunburst, why? You were facing the right way. What's possessed you to do this? And I get a feeling there's been a crash up front that we've missed, which of course there has. And it's the Barstow, because the Barstow is the front running car of the ones that need saving. It gets the priority, and of course we miss a crash, because with everything that was going wrong, we were bound to miss one in that time. And the Barstow get back on the road and have the most grip in the world, of course, being a low rider of an off-road car. It's not the best combination in the world. Now then, get the Sunburst going right. Also, and then I forgot to mention this Sunburst. Well, this version of it, anyway, is, as things stand, my current favourite car in BeamNG Drive. So ideally, I don't want to see it go out this early on and in such a unrespectful way as well. I mean, this thing has got some decent acceleration. It's the fastest accelerating car out of the 5, but it's just not had the luck or anything to go with it. And now, the fastest car meets probably the lightest and definitely the most delicate car, and now it's going to go up the inside, going to be side by side, now it's going to get rammed sideways. Actually, some pretty decent strength there from the Jeep, although it just clipped the wheel arch. But that's going to be the least of its problems. And now then, the Firehawk, of course, already round to the back of the limo. I'm surprised that contact there isn't actually splitting the limo in half, with how weak it is. You there, the floor is just completely disintegrated. Now then, the two of them now going side by side. I don't think they're stuck together. No, they get to fight with a burst at speed, just pretty much destroys the side of the limo in making its move past. I mean, the door is now actually in the passenger seat. I mean, you can see here from the onboard view, that's the door inside the passenger seat. And it's still structurally, what matters is still there. It's not dragging on the floor, so it's not going to be getting any more drag. Quite literally, the ETK has seen better days, but the speed is still okay. The sunburst, okay, now the radiator's gone, and the speed isn't really there, so quite a bit of damage. As you see there, that's something from the engine, which shouldn't be where it currently is, and definitely should not be shaking as well, so I think this might be the start of the end for the sunburst, if the fast rolls weren't already the start of the end for it. Now the Firehawk should have a pretty simple run from here, and the limo still going well in P2, although the Barstow is catching up to it fairly quickly, and the ETK, despite that broken wheel, is definitely going a lot quicker than what I thought it would have been going right now. And the Sunburst, that's just got to pray he can get around in time. Although the spoiler has actually survived all the rolls, albeit it is a bit broken on the top. But now then, the Jeep still in second place for now, although the Barstow I think should have something to say about that fairly quickly. You see, he needs to make a quick move here if he wants to get anywhere close to try and challenge the Firehawk. I don't know if the Firehawk took any damage. Now side by side, the Jeep doesn't really put up a fight there and still gets sideswiped once again, but now the Jeep's down to third. I mean, imagine the Jeep's just trying to consolidate its place for the next round, because if it doesn't finish last, since it's his first round in as well, if it doesn't finish last or it doesn't need to win, it should be okay. Now, the wheels on the Firehawk actually look okay, so I think it's got away with the side swipes it took up against the Jeep. And now then, the Barstow might have a chance to catch, although I think the Firehawk needs to take a bit more damage for it to lose the lead. The ETK, I think that's just going to just trundle around now in P4, and the Sunburst has only just made it through the chicane, now coming down the hill, going up to the straight before the S's, so there's no way this is getting round onto the start of the second lap, because, well, the Firehawk is already coming around now to start the second lap, and the suspension and everything looks to be fairly okay, so besides the bodywork, I think this structurally, for what matters, everything still works perfectly fine on the Firehawk. And the Barstow isn't actually too far behind. So maybe the Barstow can actually catch up if something should befall the Firehawk. The ETK, I'm surprised that wheel, well, the wheels just need to be pretty weak. So I kind of seen where, that's where the front wheel should be. And that's where this front one is, and that was just with the knock on the wall. It was a fairly fast knock on the wall, but to do that to a wheel, that's not something you usually see. The Firehawk now making its way down the straight. I mean, you've still got a pretty decent view from the inside as well. So you're leaving down tyre tracks with just how much power this thing has. Of course, with having a Rolls-Royce, probably jet engine in it. And the Jeep in third, it's not too far behind, though it will be losing time all the time. And then the Barstow in second. They're actually doing a fairly good job. And there, see, there's one of the bumpers, I think, of the ETK. Just off the side of the track, I think nothing's going to run over that. Yeah, that's the front bumper, because the rear bumper is just about still attached to the ETK, and the Sunburst has just made it now to the start of the S's sector, whereas the Firehawk's now just making its way down to turn 1. Firehawk now just making its way into the S's section. I haven't seen where the Sunburst is yet. The Jeep's still in third place. The ETK is catching up there in the background. The Barstow not too far behind. Now the Sunburst is actually coming down this second to last straight, so if it's lucky, it might actually make it onto the second lap. But then again, it has to still find a way out of last place because the car in last is also replaced if all the cars finish. And I'm pretty sure now that the Firehawk isn't actually going to catch up. I thought it would, but so there's just enough speed left in the Sunburst for it to not be able to catch up. The Jeep, I don't think is going to be in third for much longer, so you're going to lose a podium position, but I don't think he'll bother about that if he just gets through into the next round. Do any of these lights still work? Oh, that's actually quite a bright light there on the front of the bar stove. Still, surprisingly, the front of the car hasn't actually took that much damage from that crash with presumably the Firehawk, which we missed, saving the ETK and the Sunburst at the start of the Sunburst. Only got one more corner to go. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's definitely going to make it now onto lap 2, so it's still got a chance until the hopper here, the ETK and the Barstow finish, but realistically it's got no hope of actually getting through into the next round. So after one round, my current favourite car, and probably one of the most entertaining cars to go so far, is going to be out. Now then, the Firehawk now coming to the final few corners, not got much further left to go. The ETK still hasn't quite caught up to the back of the Jeep as of yet. He's going to be on the back of it though fairly quickly, I'd imagine. And then the Firehawk now, only a few more corners left to go. Going to come on to take victory number 2. Of course, it's using that weight advantage and straight line speed. In terms of straight line speed, it is the fastest car. Though the Sunburst, to start off with, was the fastest accelerating car. Still having good top end speed and good weight as well. No, it's definitely enough. Definitely a good enough combination. And the Firehawk takes victory and will be through into the next round. And that's taken up one place now that the Sunburst can't have. Now then, is it going to stop fairly quickly being an old car? It's not going to have the best brakes in the world. It's just going to roll actually quite some way down. Now there's contact now between the ETK and the Jeep. Of course, the ETK here has to be careful that it doesn't take out his other good wheel, because I don't know if the other wheel actually still steers the one that's bent backwards. Now then, the Barstow is going to cut across the line now in P2. It's definitely been a day for the classic car, so unless the Jeep's been taken out in the past 5 seconds, then it's been a classic car podium. As things stand, is the Barstow going to go into the back of the Firehawk? Going to be close, there's going to be a little bit of contact there, and that could be a bit of payback for what the Firehawk did before. And then the Jeep still holding on to P3. I mean, if things stay as they are, these two cars are still into the next round. Now, honestly, how is the Jeep surviving? It should not be surviving. You see there the two pipes that are just holding this car together. And what I think honestly, willpower is what's really holding this car together. So the ETK still wants that P3, although it doesn't really matter if it finishes in P4 because he'll be through into the next round, and that'll just seal the fate of the Sunburst. And now coming into the final few corners, there's still quite hefty contact being made between these two cars. The ETK really does want this podium position. Maybe just a bit of bragging rights, a bit of a psychological advantage over the Jeep from that round. But the Jeep, despite its length and how light it is, actually has some pretty decent defending as well. Although the ETK is going to find a way to the inside line now around the final corner. It's going to try and make a move. No, the Jeep just brave enough on the brakes. You know, they're coming around the final corner now. I think the Jeep's got this in the bag. Coming up now to the start-finish line, the little line on the right of the finish line. The Jeep is going to finish in P3 with the ETK literally right up behind it. And I've put the Jeep on stopping. Get on board now with the ETK. I imagine there might be a bit of finish line aggro between these two, or are they just going to accept third and fourth? Like the Jeep might actually go right into the back here of the Barstow. Is going to be a bit of contact. Is there? Yes, there is. Just a little tap on the back. But now what that has done now is all this has now sealed the fate here of the Drag Sunburst. So my favourite car, you saw it for not even a round because we didn't really see much of it, and well, it had some decent rolls, but honestly I can't see what's wrong with it. So update on the Sunburst, it hasn't actually got much further from the last cut, but as you can see it's literally collapsed on itself, because when it was coming down the hill on those curbs, we see where the red sign is, it went over the curbs and it flipped. It flipped off the curbs, landed straight side on its roof and hit the end of the tyre wall. There you see its bumper in the distance. So I flipped it back over and the front wheel collapsed. It rolled, I think more or less rolled down the hill, and has now stopped here, so that's the end of the drag sunburst. So now taking a look at how the 4 cars that made it into the next round still drive, and first of all starting with today's winner, which is the Firehawk. And again, despite the body panel damage, structurally the wheels and that I think still face all in a straight line, or near enough in a straight line, so yeah, it's going to take quite a lot if you want to take out the Firehawk. And I'll put this car at the back just because it's way too straight line speed. Having a car behind it probably isn't the best of ideas. And now the Barstow, which came home in 2nd place. I mean, I'm more surprised than anything that the off-road chassis didn't end up dragging on the floor. I mean, I guess if this thing got a puncture or a collapsed suspension, then it would have been scraping its way along the floor. But still, this car, despite a little bit of dent on the front, everything for the important stuff, it's all still there and all works fine. And then the ETK, that's actually got some okay-ish speed. The acceleration was never great when this car actually works in the first place. That wheel actually still steers, which I think might be was what been the saving grace of this car, and why it still had such good straight line speed with the AI controlling it. Because you know, when they lose a wheel or steering, the AI don't really know what to do with the car. And then the only thing left to do now is to see how the Jeep still drives. The Jeep was actually still level as well, so it hasn't really collapsed that much either, so it's just had the sides of it ripped off and got quite a dent in the back of it. But besides that, it still drives perfectly fine, and it's a lot stronger than what I thought it was going to be, so maybe it needs a few more hits, and maybe you actually get split in the next episode. So remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Also remember to check out my Discord server, which will be linked in the description, along with my Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, so definitely go and follow me on all of those as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.